Is having a mentor important? You bet it is. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad from Project Eli, where we educate, lead, and inspire. And recently, I received some feedback from a letter that I wrote in response to a video I saw by Evan Carmichael about mentors. And this was like 2 or 3 years ago, and when I initially wrote the letter, I got a lot of responses. But I haven't received one in a little bit because people don't go back 2 or 3 years on YouTube. But the particular lady did, and she wrote me a very, very nice little thank you, and I appreciate it, and I'm glad you took the time. So because I got so much response the first time, and because this lady sort of re-inspired me, I'm going to read the letter to you again. And it's called From a Letter to My Son on Mentorship. We know that recognized wisdom depends on point of view or perspective. How does one achieve wisdom? The fastest way is to become wise is to seek out and become a student of one who's already wise. Find a mentor for yourself. The purest form of mentorship is the parent-child relationship. Think about it. At birth, every child is a blank slate and a copycat. The parents have the wisdom of achievement in all of the relevant things that a child needs. How to talk, walk, go to the bathroom, just naming a few of the basics. Parents not only don't hoard this knowledge, they provide endless encouragement and patience. Their reward is seeing the first step, hearing the first word, and applauding the very first solo success in the bathroom. Often, it's documented in a video or in a family album. You know, my grandfather immigrated to Boston and worked in South Boston as a butcher. He was an extremely prejudiced man. In fact, when Obama took office, my Aunt Phyllis called to tell me that she was going to go visit my grandfather's grave to see if he turned over in it. Now, please don't misconstrue, Eli. I loved your great-grandfather, and he was a wonderful man, but he was very prejudiced. He had 5 children, and they all realized this negative characteristic and did their best not to copy it. I'm pleased to tell you that each generation that followed has made great progress in this area. I can't tell you how much it pleased me when you, Eli, told me that you couldn't understand why black people were persecuted. Your exact quote was, "We're all the same. I don't understand." And when you said that, it made me feel great to be your dad. So what have we learned? First, find a mentor. Wisdom is taught because he who is wise has experience. The mentor's reward is watching his mentee succeed. For the mentor, giving is receiving. You do remember the family album of achievements, right? Remember the 3 characteristics of wisdom: knowledge, experience, and patience. When you're passionately in pursuit of an outcome, remember to be patiently impatient. Patiently impatient is the blend of patience and urgency. When you're in pursuit of an uncharted goal, dream, or vision, remember that the gestation period is an unknown time frame. Singleness of purpose for achieving your vision requires patience. Wisdom is achieved through failure more often than it's achieved through success. Once success has been achieved, however, we call the whole process, the failures and the successes, we call it experience. A worthy mentor continuously gives encouragement and feedback. And this may come in many different forms. A kick in the butt or an expression of disappointment from a respected mentor should be accepted as encouragement. What makes a mentor-mentee relationship great is when the mentee has a failure, and Eli, I got some news for you, you're going to have some failures. When you have a failure, 2 different feelings are forthcoming. One is disappointment that the objective wasn't reached. The other is that you, the mentee, let down your mentor. It should be personal and motivating to not disappoint the teacher. The mentor-mentee relationship is a unique one. It's both more and less than the father and son relationship. The book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki is a must-read. It's an illustration of that special mentor-mentee bond as well as good financial advice. Remember that once the outcome is achieved, the victory is sweeter when it is shared. Wisdom is a commodity to be shared and not hoarded to pay its dividends. All of my mentors made me promise to teach to others what they had taught me. It is your obligation, Eli, to continue this tradition. My final point about mentorship is to learn, relearn, and unlearn. To learn is the act of listening and accepting through faith the truth of what your mentor teaches you. To relearn is the act of performing the function necessary to achieve the desired outcome. To unlearn is to question the basics by changing the paradigm and perspective, that is, to change the point of view. Now, just as my dad did not accept the major prejudice of his father, my grandfather, your great-grandfather, learn and unlearn, I did not accept the minor prejudice of my father. It was incumbent upon me to teach you that prejudice in any form is wrong and unthinkable. As I mentioned earlier, your comments about race were a great source of pride and family reflection for me. However, don't miss the major, greater point. The changing view about prejudice is merely an example. As times, technology, and society evolve, questioning the basics is an essential vehicle on the road to progress. Old truths, such as the earth is flat, have been proven to be wrong. Learn, relearn, and unlearn, and question the questioner. Knowledge versus wisdom. If you want the answer, ask the question. That's Lori Meyer. Here's another quote. Do question even the basic. You'll be a fool for once, but if you don't, you will be for a lifetime. And that's from a gentleman named Himalicious. I had an old girlfriend that called me that once. Anyway, that's my letter. That's what I got feedback from 3 years ago. So I hope this helps. Get yourself a mentor. Get yourself a couple of mentors. And because we'll never end a meeting on a philosophical note, get out there and charge! I'm Eli's dad.